Airbnb has been one of the hottest summer stocks over the last couple of years. Is it going to repeat its performance this year? We're going to go through some of the data and the charts and give you that indication right now, as well as a couple levels you need to watch. Let's start with the backstory first, though. As you know, since the pandemic, people have been flooding to Airbnbs left and right. And why not? From a fundamental perspective, you didn't have to share space with somebody like you did in a hotel. It got you out there a little bit more, which is exactly what we were all looking to do. But things are creeping up on this rental industry. You can look at any of the rental industries right now and compare them to the hotels, and they're losing some of their ground. Something you want to keep in mind as we go into this July 4th holiday, and the numbers are going to be through the roof in terms of travelers. If you haven't seen it, travel is up 12% year over year. So everybody's taken to the roads and the skies. That's good for the airlines. Nothing really on the roads, but nonetheless, the airlines are doing well, trading at 52-week highs. Now, you'd think that would transfer down to Airbnb, but they're actually seeing a drop in their occupancy. That's right, 59% occupancy right now for Airbnb. You compare that to the hotel chains like Marriott, Hyatt, they're up around 64 and 65% right now. So there's been a little bit of a flip flop in the business as people are going back to hotels. Why? Well, it's easy. Nobody wants a to-do list when you go and stay at a place on vacation. And that's exactly what you get with some of these rentals. Airbnb is notorious for that, as well as high fees. So travelers are putting pressure on these rental companies. And there are a few others besides Airbnb, but it is the big daddy in the group here. What does that mean for the stock? Well, let's talk about seasonality. For the next couple months, seasonality is a strong wind behind Airbnb's back. Typically in July, the stock is up about 9% on average. Now, you can only look at 4 years worth of data on this because the stock really hasn't been around trading that long instead of the 20 that I prefer. But August, always up 100% of the time for the last 4 years, 5 years or so. And that is up by about 5%. It makes sense because seasonality wise, we're all out there traveling. Let's take a look at the chart, and then I'm going to give you the longer view on Airbnb. What we're looking at is the daily chart. You know, I look at the 50-day moving average. That is the one trend that says the trend is your friend. If it's trading higher, it means it's friendly. If it's trading lower, it means it is unfriendly. Right now, Airbnb has been locked in a trading range. You can see from anybody who looks at the technical analysis or simple technical analysis, anytime the 20, 200, and 50-day moving averages are trading in the same neighborhood, it means the stock has been going flat for more than 200 days. And that's exactly what you've got with Airbnb. Why? Well, we're all worried about the recession. We're all worried about the economy, inflation, etc. It's taken a little bit of a bite out of our pocketbooks at home, but people are still out there traveling in force. So what do I expect to see? I expect to see this 50-day moving average continue to move higher into July and August and give us a little bit of that seasonal bump with a target that's going to take us somewhere up around the $145, $150 range on Airbnb shares. Now, here's the catch. I always like to look at the longer term perspective as well. Remember, we're still in an inflationary environment. People are paying more right now to go on their vacations, and that's okay because the consumer is really flexing their muscle and showing us that they're still comfortable with going out and spending money. But when you look at the monthly view of Airbnb, you're going to notice something. This stock is still in what I call a bear market trend. Right here is a 20-month moving average, that little orange line. The 20-month moving average is a technical line of demarcation between bull and bear market for a stock. Any stock, when we're trading below it, it's considered a technical bear. When we're trading above, it's considered a technical bull. You've got the majority of stocks right now in the S&P 500 that are moving back up above their 20-month moving average. And it's the same with Airbnb, but that resistance right at that $130 level is holding it back. Now, let's look forward just a little bit. Remember, I said 59% occupancy on Airbnbs compared to 64%. The hotels are going back after this business in a big way. And you and I, because we're out of the pandemic, are comfortable staying in a hotel with the amenities. You remember things like room service, swimming pools, all of that stuff that was just standard with the package, whereas you really have to look for it with an Airbnb. For that reason, I'm looking at this and the occupancy goes down. We see prices also coming down. Airbnb prices are actually coming down right now, and they're coming down in a big way in some of the larger cities where Airbnbs have saturated the market. So, what does that mean looking over the long haul for Airbnb? Means you're going to see some more pressure. Those prices continue to come down, especially after the travel season is over. And you're going to see more of these Airbnb owners that are going to start to consider selling those properties because they are not as lucrative as what they were a couple of years ago. And there are a lot of properties out there that would be sold. So, that means lower revenue for Airbnb if it plays out that way. So, for the long term, I'm actually looking at Airbnb as a bearish candidate for the second half and especially the fourth quarter of 2023 into 2024. For now, though, ride that daily wave, allow the market to continue to press higher. The consumer is stronger. Target that 145 with the reversal. Remember, keep some stop losses. If you own the stock, up around that 140 to 145 is where I start to say, perhaps I want to have a stop limit on this and close this out if it were to drop 5 or 10% from here. Otherwise, I'm not going to trade it myself over the short term unless I have those circuit breakers in on the trade. I'm going to look at the long term on Airbnb and assume that the consumer is going to slow down on those purchases. And this is one of those stocks that right now, I think you can play for the short term to the upside and then target some lower prices 6 to 9 months down the road. That's it for Airbnb. It's great when you can look at a stock that's going to give you the seasonal strength to move higher and then some of the fundamentals that are driving that business to start weighing heavily on the stock. I'm Chris Johnson with Money Morning. Make sure that you like and subscribe this video so you can get more great ideas from the crew here at Money Morning. Have a great day, and I wish you the best trading success.